Acceleracers, the Ultimate Race, is the fourth and final part to the series. We open with a new realm opening up. Vert doesn't get called into the race, so he continues his self-doubt streak of feeling like he's a burden, especially because one of his legs were crushed during the Ruins realm, which was a mini-episode last time. The credits play over the Cosmic realm, which was a mini-episode last time, which I think they probably should have done more for the credits, having them just be the mini-episode's highlight reel. Also, Kurt and Taro go into the realm, even though their names weren't called to go in. We continue on from when Kurt takes the lead of the team and turns off his camera, with a flashback of Kurt wanting to go back into the realms, but of course they can't really open the portal again, and it turns out that some other people were lost in the realms before.
What?
Dan Dresden, Alec Wood, Benji Castile, they all went into the realms. They never came out.
Dan, Alec, and Benji were characters in the World Race. That was Benji's car in the Swamp Realm.
This is the last transmission from your brother's onboard camera.
That night, the two teams go out into the desert and discuss a plan to rescue Wild. Taro immediately backs the idea, Monkey's a little hesitant, Nola actually agrees to go and help Wild, and Vert's the only one who straight up says no. And then he told Tesla. The plan is, just like how Taro was accidentally sent into the drone's realm after he got sandwiched in the ocean realm, the two teams are going to steal a sweeper. They actually start working together. They start drafting together. They get in front of the sweeper, Monkey sacrifices his car to get in, Porkchop pulls a torque and spears the back and heads up with his anchor. Luckily, Monkey's not captured by the sweeper because it doesn't capture people who drive on the left side of the road. Monkey pees himself at the sweeper driver, and Porkchop knocks its top off, and they're able to pilot the sweeper. The rest of the drones figure out what's going on and go investigate. The Silencers win the realm. The rest of the teams file into the sweeper, and they're fully a team together. Techno and Metal. They're new. Nolo finally admits that it wasn't Torque's fault. Tone just drifted a little too hard.
It wasn't your fault.
That's it? You guys have been fighting all this time? And that's it?
There's the portal.
What? Oh, the portal. Yeah, okay, let's go.
They make it into the drone realm, but Kadeem already knows what's going on, and drones are in the human realm. Lonnie investigates why the Acceleracers aren't working and finds them hidden. And it turns out that Gig was a spy for the Silencers, and that Tesla really is a pathological liar because actually he was the one who stole the Silencers tech. But then the drones superhero land into the Accelodome. It's just like Tesla's nightmare, they're everywhere. Tesla actually helps Vert escape by tossing him his keys. Meanwhile, the others are kind of lost. And Kurt actually tells them why Marky hates him. The two got into a bad crowd, and Kurt threw Marky under the bus and had him take the blame for everything he did and went to jail for 2 years. Kadeem actually calls them and says head to the big tower. The drones find the Acceleracers in the Silencer's car. He's probably thinking to himself, "Oh shit, why did I bring them all?" Lonnie and Gig are captured, and Gig actually explains how he got the Acceleracers was that he hacked into Tesla's brace and was able to steal them when Tesla was sleeping, which is why Gig didn't want Tesla trying to get better in last part. Glorm shows up and says that the drones were built by the Accelerons to always lose to him. So it's now their time to use the Acceleracers to go home and beat the Accelerons and become an Acceleracer. And Tesla really just wants to go see an Acceleron. Also, kind of funny thing, the Silencers have 4 chargers, drones have 4, Teku Maniacs have 3, so that means they would only have 11 chargers, but if you actually count them all, there's 14. So there's an entire special of realms we have yet seen. Vert has his name written on the bottom of his shoes. Him and Sparky sneak around, get to the car, but the drones are blocking their way into the portal. But a Silencer actually helps them out, and they enter the ultimate race to catch Galorum. Karma seemingly predicts that the drones will be shooting at them, so the team split up. The ultimate race is going through all the realms again and remembering what you learned. So Vert has to avoid distractions and focus in the Storm Realm, as Galorum uses the chargers to get through it. The Storm Realm charger apparently absorbs the lightning, and in the Water Realm she just drives over water. The Urban charger just lets her battery ram through different cars. The Cliffside charger just seemingly makes her accelerate. Vert just drives over the side, and because this is Hot Wheels, he survives the fall and lands on his tires. Back with the others, Shirako wipes out, but Porkchop actually helps him. Kurt makes it into the big tower. He finds his brother, now a little more handy, but also Kadeem sitting in Galorum's seat. Kadeem remembers him and Kurt's fight in the world race. Back in the race, the Junk Realm Charger makes yet another bridge, but this time purposely over, obstacles. Glorm tries taunting Vert, but Sparky turns up, hit the ground running. Wild breaks free and starts fighting Kadeem. Taro flips yet again. Karma saves him by crushing a jet with her car. Man, if I had a nickel for every time Kadeem was hanging over the side of a road with a wild brother standing above him, I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's still odd it happened twice.
Kadeem is gone!
Yeah, he probably survived that. And if the series continued, he could have probably been a main villain. They make it to the Cosmic Realm and Vert accelerates, passing Glorm, but she uses the Cosmic Realm Charger, which also just seems to accelerate. They make it to the portal, Wild thanks Kurt and says they're even. They start EDRing out just for them to find out that the base is swarming with drones. And the Silencers somehow enter the drone's realm and steal the Wheel of Power. Back at the Ultimate Race, they make it to a cloudy realm with a road. Vert tries flipping Glorm, but she makes it to the Sphere. An Acceleron exits out. They're blue-skinned creatures that have no visible nose and a face that looks similar to the drone's visors. They have 3 fingers and a thumb, and they have digitigrade backwards knees. So another Warhammer reference there to Tau. Either way, the Acceleron says that Glorm made it to him first, but she used the Chargers instead of using the skills that she was supposed to learn during the races, which Vert did. So he becomes the Acceleracer. This makes her mad, and she transforms into a giant robot, but then the Acceleron uses the Force and tosses her into the void, I guess destroying her. He flips back Vert's car, but Vert says he has to go back and help his friends, so the Acceleron gives him a little gift.
Vert, what's happening?
Wisdom is a circle, Dr. Tesla. What you receive, you must give back.
Vert!
We're going back.
They portal back into the base and help destroy the drones, leading to a big fight to try and escape the drones. 2 Silencers are still there. The Techumaniacs steal yet another sweeper. Tesla gives his keys to Lonnie and sets the base to blow up if he crosses a couple wires, but Gig actually helps him escape and decides to stay behind to blow the base. Vert escapes through the portal with 1 second to spare before it ignites, and he makes it into the Silencer's realm, as everyone else meets Sparky, who EDR'd out. They still have a racer out there, so now the group has to go find Vert. Wild fixes the Highway 35 sign, and Nello puts his tone cross on it, showing that he's finally moved on from his brother's death. Meanwhile, with Vert, the Silencers are going over his stuff, and the series ends with a big plot twist cliffhanger.
Son, we need to talk.
Dad?
Are you ready for the race of a lifetime?
So it turns out that Vert's dad is a Silencer, which explains why he had a purple key in the last episode. And as confirmed by the creator and an unreleased toy, that one of the Silencers is Benji, which probably means that Alec and Dan are also Silencers. I'm willing to say the Silencers are some kind of underground government thing that discovered the drones and the realms and all that. That Tesla was working for a hot minute until he had a disagreement and he stole Gig in the car and tried getting the real power himself until he had to start the series. And as for why we never got the final part and explained what's going on with this cliffhanger,
I don't know! The more I study it, the less I understand.
depending on who you are and what you believe in, some people say that the series was canceled because it was too scary, or a lack of interest, or a lack of interest with the creators, or a lack of interest with Mattel. But the theory most people believe in is that Acceleracers was canned because it was becoming too popular and eclipsing the franchise. Which sounds to me like a very stupid reason to cancel a show that was so popular. That's like if Blizzard canceled Overwatch because it was becoming more popular than World of Warcraft. As for Hot Wheels after, they made Battle Force 5, which is good but not as good as Acceleracers. It's sort of similar, but it's not really the same thing other than having a main character who has blonde spiky hair named Vert Wheeler. They go into different realms to race evil robots, and there was an Old Smoky cameo in one episode. But as for this special itself, it's really good. I really like that the Ultimate Race was more about skills than the tools. The action's fun and thrilling. I love seeing the teams work together. I love the conclusion to the Wild Brothers story, as well as Nolo and Torque's story. I just really wish they continued on the cliffhanger. It's a good finale that finishes off a couple character storylines and just makes me want a little bit more. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And as a whole, the franchise gets an 8.5 out of 10. It's a lot better than it has really any right to be. The racing, action, and music are all wonderful. All the characters are great. Some of them have more time to shine than others, but when they do shine, they definitely shine. Like with Nolan Torque's dynamic about Tone's death, Vert's self-doubt issues, just for him to believe in himself and become an Acceleracer, and Tesla being a shady, villainesque mentor for the group, who even by the end is mostly just focusing on the Accelerachargers and seeing the Accelerons. The animation might be a little dated, but I think the style they're going for, this very 2000s characteristic mixed with toyisk, works for the franchise. Even with a few weird faces, Mainframe is still great at animating. I used to watch this series all the time when I was younger, and I loved it, but I didn't know anyone else who even knew it existed, so I sort of forgot about it for a while. Until 2019, when suddenly everyone seemingly started doing videos about it, and I'm glad that I rediscovered the series. It took me a while to finally make videos about them, but knowledge is a circle. I learned about it again, and I'm happy to pass it on to you. If you can find the DVDs somewhere, or watch them on Internet Archive, I highly recommend Acceleracers to everyone.